Shalom friends, this is Jeremy Gimpel from the Arugot Farm. Yesterday my friend Moshe Rothschild organized a tour down south to visit the Kibbutzim, to visit the site of the music festival, to see the outcomes of October 7th, and to meet the people that lived through it and how Israel is responding now. I think it is one of the most important things for every Jew living in the land of Israel today. Everyone must go down and see reality with their own eyes. And until then, come with me on one of the most meaningful journeys of my life. We first stopped at Shokeda, which was one of the religious communities that somehow miraculously, although they were surrounded by terrorists with pickup trucks and machine guns, just as they somehow guarded Shabbat, Shabbat somehow guarded them, and the terrorists were never able to enter into the community itself. Ari and I have gone down to the south for the first time since the beginning of the war, just to visit the community to see what's going on. We're in Shokeda now, which is one of the real headquarters of activism and volunteering. And as you can see behind me, these soldiers that are right here are literally just out of Gaza. They're here on a little break, and in these tents here are hundreds of volunteers all over Israel, some from Europe, Germany. They've come here just to make sandwiches, to clean, to do whatever they can to support the people of the South and the soldiers in Gaza. I was scared to come down here today. I didn't know, and I don't know what I'm going to see, but what I see now is really beautiful. So in hard times we saw during COVID, societies, they just fell apart. People were burning down cities, wearing masks, breaking into Best Buy, stealing, thieves, just total disintegration. And what you can see, the beauty of the Jewish people, is in our hard times, what happens? The Jewish people, they don't take, they give, they come, they volunteer, they support. And so what an honor to be a part of such a beautiful nation.
We ask people to donate money and stuff and food. And now we are about 2,400 a day. 70% are going to the field to the warriors, and 500 here around here they are coming. You can see. We are doing laundry. We have barbers. We have massagist and kusini and safarim and everything. That's what I'm doing here.
The next stop after Shokeda was to go to Teshuvah, which is a graveyard of cars. It's the largest forensic operation in the history of Israel, where still cars are coming in and people are trying to find the remnants of the DNA of the victims of October 7th. But until you see it with your own eyes, you can't believe how many cars and how many Jews were just slaughtered on the roads, trying to escape the savages of October 7th. Hey friends, so I'm right now outside of Tkuma, and what's behind me here is the graveyard of all of the cars that were either burned to a crisp here during October 7th, and all the cars behind me that were just shot up and the people were killed in. And the reason why we're here is because there are still forensics going on here and cars still coming in. This car that's right behind me is a red car, and you can see on the side here are bullet holes. And they're now bringing that car in, and the rabbinic psak was that for the bodies that were either burned to a crisp and not found, but remnants of pieces of body or blood, they're actually going to bury the cars. And that's never happened before in human history. But when you think about visiting the concentration camps in Auschwitz, and you see rooms filled with just baby shoes, that's the closest thing that I can really express to what we're seeing behind us here. Just hundreds and hundreds of burned cars in all of this parking lot of Jews that were just hunted down and taken from this world. I was just on my way back now to get on the bus, and as I'm leaving, I see these white bags here that are right behind me. I'll go take a picture of them for you. And I asked the people, what are those white bags? And he says those are white bags that are filled with ashes with potential human remains, and they're still going through them in order to try to find out people that are missing, people that haven't been found, the remains of the Jewish people that were murdered right here behind us. So we just now arrived at Re'im, which is the site of the Music and Peace Festival that was here on October 7th. And you can see all around are little kind of memorials with Israeli flags over there and in the trees there, all the different places where Jews were just massacred. Just unbelievable to see it with our own eyes. Now this place behind me here is a memorial for all the people that were killed here in the music festival. It's kind of like on these stakes, it has the pictures of the faces of each one. And just really unbelievable. And bombs are going off here all the time. It's a war zone. Now I'm just taking time now to walk through the music festival here in this area where this pogrom happened and so many hundreds of Jews were just slaughtered. And I'm driving down the south and all of these communities, the map that you see, all of these communities are evacuated. This entire region of Israel, they're all refugees. There's no country in the world that would put up with that. It's as if the generation of slaves that left Egypt didn't die in the desert and they came into Israel and now they're running the country. And their mentality is so off and their leadership is so poor that they would allow us to be living under this reign of terror and bombs and evacuees. I mean, it's time for law and order and peace and prosperity. And the only way to do that long term is to make sure that there is never another Arab government in the land of Israel. Ever. So we just arrived now in Kibbutz Be'eri, and in some ways this is sort of like the climax of the trip. And as we're walking around just looking at some of the burnt buildings, it smells like death in the air. And one of the women that's here with me just vomited just because the smell is so horrible. It's unbelievable to be here. So here we're just walking through the kibbutz here, and as you can see behind me, the houses are just devastated, bullets holes in all of them. This was one of the first houses that they broke into after breaking through the fence. I mean, it's just house after house is totally destroyed. One of the members of the kibbutz here told us that they're not planning on coming back here for at least a year and a half. So we're just walking around Be'eri now, and you just can't imagine what has happened to this kibbutz. Everywhere you look, there's just absolute devastation inside the homes, outside the homes. Our guide here from the kibbutz is just saying just horror stories. Just absolute monsters came in and just mercilessly took children, women, kidnapped them, killed them, smoked them out of their homes.
Love you, Father and Carmel are wounded. Please get help as fast as possible. Please come, help us. Carmel in his hand, Father all over his belly, with holes. Father is lying on Carmel to stop the bleeding. Call anyone you can. Please, please, please. Tell him 200 times if you need to. So, I don't know if he will make it. There is no help. Now. You can hear that they're trying to open the window in the background. We are dying here. They threw 3 grenades. They are shooting. You hear the shooting in the background. We love you. We are dying here. You know, there is no separation between Hamas and the people of Gaza. They are all the same. It doesn't matter. Some had guns and some didn't have guns. The only difference is the gear that they packed. There were a lot of civilians, so-called civilians, who came and raped and kidnapped and murdered. And they did the most horrible things. And I've never seen anyone in Gaza. Everybody were celebrating what went on October 7th. So yes, so I think they understand that we have to bring our security back. We have to fight back and to fight for our security, for our safety, for our ability to have families here, to raise children, to live in this country. This war is not about just the people who live here. It's about our ability to live in this country. And it's also important to understand, to know how united the Jewish people are these days. And when the people, even those from around the world, the Jewish people from around the world that can't be here today, I know that they are here in their heart, and we are feeling it from here, that everybody supports us. It really, it's a heartwarming, and this is our biggest comfort, the love that we receive from everybody, from day one until now. Yeah.
So that was my day, and let me tell you, I'm busy. Everyone's busy. Everyone has a million things that they need to do. But there is nothing more important right now that every single Jew in the land of Israel go down to the south, see what's happening, see reality with your own eyes, meet the people there. We always said never again about things that happened in Poland and in Auschwitz. Far more important that we learn the lesson of never again here in the land of Israel, and until you see it, you really can't believe it. So please find the time, go down south, and go and see Israel.